part of Dale County. So this is a cell that prompted that severe thunderstorm warning. That warning is not really verifying, I guess you could say at this point, because we don't have those winds gusting over 50 or 60 miles per hour. They have come down, so that is some good news, and that warning has been allowed to expire as a result. So no severe weather warnings in effect at this point, but I want to track these showers and storms for at least the next several minutes as we go on through the afternoon hours, because there could be some more pulsing of the winds within this line. And in a situation like this, you usually get just a brief push of winds and then the storm kind of weakens a little bit. So we call those pulse severe storms, where it quickly is severe and then it kind of fades back and it's not quite so bad. This is interesting, a little bit of a swirl showing up there over the northern part of Coffee County. So we're going to watch that area south of Jack. Let me go over to Let's go over to the base velocity here. We're kind of pinpointing some of the winds across the area. So a pretty good batch of winds here, the northern and northwestern part of Coffee County, and still some pretty good gusty winds there north of Ozark. I'm going to animate this over the past hour. We've got a live camera there in Ozark. So there was that batch of winds that prompted that warning, briefly pulsing over 50 miles per hour. Now the winds have come back down. So there's a look outdoors in Ozark, watching that cell off to the north and northwest of town. Even though those winds are not severe, 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts can break some branches and bring down some weak trees or rotten trees. So even though it's not, again, technically severe, it is still windy and rather rainy out there. And there are a lot of lightning strikes with this cluster south of Jack over the northern part of Coffee County. So north of 84, south of Jack, a lot of lightning there and some gusty winds embedded within that rainfall. So that's a look at the base velocity. The storm relative velocity, we would use this a lot during the peak severe weather season to identify areas of rotation. That is not the setup that we have in place today. We have the setup for lots of rainfall because it is so muggy out there, and brief gusty straight line winds. That would be the primary threat. But really, the overall threat, if you break it down, is from the lightning, because there's a lot of lightning with some of these cells. So if you have any plans to go outdoors over the northern part of Coffee County, I would say just hold off for a little bit. That area south of Jack, very heavy rainfall, very intense lightning. Off to the north and northwest of Enterprise, looking at that rainfall approaching. There's the outflow boundary. So there's Ozark. That thin green line is the outflow boundary, which is dropping down to the southeast. When that passes your area, you will see a bit of a kick up of those winds, maybe over 30 to 40 miles per hour as it drops southwards. So coming on through Ozark here recently, about to move into Newville and Headland, came on through Shorterville. The activity there over the northern part of Henry County, a little more broken in nature, but if you are underneath one of these bigger storms, it is going to rain like crazy, and it will rain for a while to that area of northern Coffee County. Seeing some significant rainfall, steady rainfall. Basically, if you look at the individual cells, kind of moving off to the east-southeast, even though the entire line is kind of dropping southward. So the heavier rainfall, say over the next 20 to 30 minutes, will be across to the northern half of Coffee County, into the northern half of Dale County, and then shifting into Henry County. Not as heavy up here over the northern part of Henry County, but back to the west towards Ozark, some really heavy rainfall, and then back towards Elba, some heavy rainfall. Let's go a little bit bigger view here, take you a little farther to the west, over parts of Covington County, more rain approaching Andalusia. Of course, Andalusia, that's always one of the wet spots, it seems like, and another good batch of rain coming into Andalusia here very shortly. Some new showers popping up over the western part of Geneva County, down to the south there of Sampson. That's kind of more or less pop-up activity. This is associated with that main outflow boundary, that push of energy from up above that is dropping now into the southeast part of Alabama. So no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect at this hour, but the chance for some more gusty winds will be with us as we work on through the afternoon. So I'm going to zoom in here on that one particular cell that prompted that warning earlier, looking at the northern part here of Dale County, off to the north of Ozark. I'll switch over to the actual reflectivity, so that heavier rainfall about to move into the city of Ozark. This is all heavy rainfall. Not as many lightning strikes compared to what we saw earlier. So that is some good news. Signs of weakening. The storm pulsed, and now the winds have come back down. That said, these are still producing these storms, some winds over 30 to 40 miles per hour. So these are some of the gusts that we're seeing, 38, 37, 34, might get over 40 miles per hour in spots as we look at the northern part of Dale County. Okay, let me go back to the west here a little bit. Let me clear that out of here. Let's get to this and go here and take you back towards Jack, Elba, and New Brockton. I'm going to switch over to the reflectivity and show you where the rain is. So as you look at this rainfall south of Jack, north of Elba, north of New Brockton, look at all these white dots. Those are all recent lightning strikes. There's a lot of lightning out there embedded within that really heavy rainfall. And speaking of heavy rain, some of that is developing now north of New Brockton. So that northern part of Coffee County really getting pounded by the heavy rainfall. A lot of lightning and some gusty winds. We'll check out the winds here across the northern part of Coffee County. Not real impressive. You see some green, lighter green showing up. But these winds are generally 20 to 30 miles per hour. But again, this storm has the potential or the possibility to increase in intensity and maybe produce winds over 40 miles per hour. As we back it up here just a little bit, the winds have come down a little with that cell, and that is some good news. And it's come down too with that other cell that popped up there in Dale County that produced those winds over 50 miles per hour. So overall, promising news. Again, not a great severe weather setup today, but I figured we'll hop on here and just do a little coverage here as we track this line of showers and storms into our area. And it looks like this will hold together as we go through the next few hours. So areas south, say towards Enterprise, rain for you in the not too distant future. If you're watching from Dothan, likely some showers and storms into our area here in the next probably hour or so as that line drops down to the south. And then areas south here, hit or miss showers and storms ahead of that main line that will come on through. Again, it is hot, it is humid outside, so we've got enough energy in the atmosphere. Interestingly enough, the computer models were kind of weakening this line as it was dropping southward, and it just really didn't make a whole lot of sense because it is so hot, so humid outside. And these clusters of showers and storms, they kind of feed off themselves, more or less. They create a boundary that will push into that warm and humid air and will keep those thunderstorm clusters going. And the models really don't handle that very well. So if you look at reality, there's a lot of rain from areas north of Mobile all the way through southeast Alabama into Georgia. Now, if I were to show you the computer modeling, it would show you next to nothing. Maybe I can if I have it handy. Do I have it in the show? I do. Yeah, right here. Let me show you this. So that's 10:30. Can I go back here? I'm going to just do this on the fly to kind of give you an idea of the limitations of computer modeling. So that is one of the computer models at 4 p.m. Nothing, showing nothing in this area. I know it's not 4 o'clock yet, it's about 3 o'clock. But the idea is that we're going to have a lot of showers and storms in this area, and this model had none of that showing up at all. So we kind of sometimes discount the computer modeling and just look at reality. And the reality is we've got a cluster of showers and storms moving into a very warm and humid air mass, and that will keep this activity going. Let me go back to when this began. It was last evening over the northern part of Arkansas. And we'll have to let the computer catch up here for just a moment. But it began up in this area as just a few showers and storms, and then it kind of evolved into a bigger line of showers and storms. This computer does not want to catch up for me. Come on. No, it does not want to work. So let me just get past that. But anyway, it began up here and just came on through the northern part, central part of Alabama, now dropping down to the southeast, into the southeastern corner of the state. Let me go back over, get my bearings here to, I think, this view right there. So there's a look again at the radar view over the past hour. Pretty heavy rainfall with this cell moving on through Covington County, and that really heavy pocket of rain is persistent across the northern part of Coffee County. If you are just tuning in here, doing some extended coverage as we track this line of showers and storms coming on through the Wiregrass. This is a cell that prompted that severe thunderstorm warning earlier. That cell has weakened, but there are some heavy downpours coming on through the northern part of Dale County. Moving into Ozark, we've got that live cam in Ozark. Let's pop that up again so you can see that rainfall moving in from the west and northwest. But the winds with this have come down, and the lightning strikes have come down also. Not as many lightning strikes showing up across the northern part of Dale County. Up to the north in Barber County, some decent rainfall, but no severe weather there. Back to the west, some heavy rainfall. Victoria southward towards New Brockton, that area is seeing rainfall rates likely in excess of 2 inches per hour. So if you are in the middle of that, you will get a substantial amount of rain in a fairly short period of time. Let me go over to the velocity scan here. and we'll animate this over the past hour. Those gusty winds in the northern part of Dale County. These winds are not real impressive, but in pockets here, south of Victoria and off to the east of New Brockton, we may get some wind gusts over 30 or 40 miles per hour. Technically, 58 miles per hour or greater makes a storm severe. I don't see any severe winds, but as I mentioned before, it does not take 58 mile per hour or greater winds to produce some tree damage. In particular, some of the weak or diseased trees can break off or even be toppled if the winds are, say, 40 miles per hour. So there's that chance as we go through the next hour across the northern part of Coffee County and then into Dale County. That activity just north of the city of Enterprise at this point. Then we'll go back to the west here over Covington County. As I mentioned before, Covington County, one of those spots that has seen a lot of rainfall. It seems like every single day, the spot most likely to get some heavy rain in the Wiregrass is Andalusia, and it's happening again today. This broken line of showers and storms really coming together here into a pretty good batch of storminess just west and northwest of Andalusia. And notice over the past, say, 10 minutes, there's been a big uptick in lightning strikes here between River Falls and Andalusia. So if you are in Andalusia, I would say stay indoors until this cell passes because it is very energetic, a lot of lightning, and that's indicative of that hot and humid atmosphere that we have in place. These storms are growing very, very tall vertically into the atmosphere, and that rising air motion as you get up there where it's freezing cold creates a lot of charges in the atmosphere as those particles and ice crystals bump together, and it results in just a lot of lightning. So usually the more humid it is, the hotter it is outside, the more lightning there is in a batch of thunderstorms. And this one, very energetic, a lot of electrical energy there. South of Gant, north now and northwest of Andalusia, that is moving into the city of Andalusia and points southward to some torrential rainfall. This will likely sweep on through the rest of Covington County and then move towards Opp. We've seen a couple light showers and sprinkles in Opp. Give it, say, 20 minutes or so, and that rainfall rate will increase pretty dramatically in the city of Opp. And we'll keep seeing this broken line of showers and storms move farther eastward and gradually settle southward as we go through the rest of the afternoon hours here. Southward, there's no significant weather, some showers here and there across the northern part of Okaloosa and Walton counties into Geneva County. But within this batch of showers and storms, we'll keep monitoring for these winds that may gust over 40 miles per hour. It is good news to see that storm there continuing to weaken over the northern part of Dale County, because that one briefly did produce those winds over 50 miles per hour. Farther eastward, it's kind of scattered activity. You get this outflow boundary to come on through, and it's that green line that you see dropping southward. And then in the wake of that outflow boundary, you get the air to kind of come up and over that, and then it rises up into the atmosphere, and that produces these new showers. So you get that push of cooler air, and then you get the showers to form as that warm, humid air gets kind of forced upwards into the atmosphere. These are not severe, just some decent rainfall coming on through Fort Gaines at this point, and some new showers popping up not too far away from Blakely. Off to the east of Blakely, some decent showers. That outflow boundary now in the northern part of Early County, dropping southward at a pretty good clip. That's probably moving at 40 plus miles per hour. So you could see winds 30, 40 miles per hour as that outflow boundary comes on through. It's moving on through Haleburg now. Headland getting that gust of winds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to step off screen here. We've got a live camera in Headland. Josh, let's do a little tour of the area since we've got the radar and the live cam. So let's begin with a look at Ozark. I'm going to kind of move this camera around here a little bit. Downpours occurring around Ozark. So there's a look at where the storm is going, basically, and where it is coming from as we look over here. So just a batch of really heavy rainfall moving on through downtown Ozark, and a lot of lightning strikes earlier with this cell. The lightning has come down, but still the chance for some lightning there in Ozark. All right, let's go over to Headland and check out the winds. So this is the outflow boundary coming on through the city of Headland right now, downtown on the square. And I'll take control of this camera also, kind of show you the square, some people out and about. The winds blowing the trees around, blowing the flags around. These are winds coming in from the northwest. So that's looking northward. This is looking to the northwest. And there's the water towers. So you can see those gusty winds. Again, these are not severe winds, but they are gusting over 20, 30 miles per hour, maybe up to 40 miles per hour. And it's not technically severe, but I saw a picture last night of the storm that came on through parts, I think it was Henry County, and it produced some wind damage. Those Bradford pear trees in particular, they're really weak. And there are a lot of trees in the landscape that look healthy, but they're rotten, or they're disease infested or insect infested. And those are the trees that can be blown down with winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour. So there's a look at downtown Headland. Get to the vehicle. Get in. Don't mess around. Don't mess around with the lightning. So let me go over to the flowers cam. So I've been watching this when looking to the northwest. And to get your bearings, I'll take control of this camera. So there's 84 right here, traffic moving along. The sun is out, but we go just to the north and northwest of the city, and there's just a pretty good line of showers and storms showing up there in the distance. And this activity up here will be moving in over the next about 45 minutes or hour or so in the city of Dothan. We've got another camera here in town, the Southeast Health Cam. I'll take control of this one and spin this around. And this one's really cool because it gives you a good high-up view of the atmosphere. And there's that line of showers and storms. So the city of Dothan now enjoying some sunshine. Again, hot and humid here, but as this line of showers and storms comes in, it will likely persist because of the heat and humidity in the atmosphere across our part of Alabama. So there's another look downtown in Ozark as that rainfall moves on through. I'm going to switch back over. I think I'm going to watch it from this view. And we're going to see that outflow boundary probably come together in this general vicinity, probably a shelf cloud that will form and kind of come at the camera. So we'll keep watching that view. Again, that is from the Flowers Hospital cam on the west side of the city of Dothan. Okay, back to the radar. Big view here. Victoria southward to Enterprise. We've got some pretty good rainfall coming out through. We did not check Enterprise. Let me walk back over here because I'm going to pop up the camera in Enterprise. We've got a couple there. Let me go over to the Rawls cam, and we'll start there. So there's a look at downtown Enterprise, and looking just to the north now of town, you can see all that heavy rainfall that's occurring with that cell, and you can see the camera shaking a little bit. That indicates the winds are kicking up. We've got the EEC cam. This one's always incredible. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So we've got some rain starting to form here with that outflow moving on through. This camera is pretty stable normally, so you see it shaking a little bit. That shows you those winds are gusting pretty good. So that's the actual outflow boundary. You see that line, that dark line right here of clouds? That's that push of winds coming in from the north, crossing Enterprise and moving down to the south, all the way through the sky. You can see that outflow boundary. That, from a distance, appears kind of like a shelf. When you're underneath it, you really can't see that shelf appearance, but you can see the rainfall here kicking up. And this is cool too. Notice how the rain is kind of diagonal. So that shows you these winds from up above are kind of coming down and pushing the rain. The farther down you go, farther out from the actual base of that cloud. So a really cool view there for sure. And then we'll spin it around here looking northward. That's the heavy rainfall that's showing up to the north of Enterprise. So very, very cool looking camera here between the outflow and then the actual storm showing up to the north. Again, this is not a great severe weather setup. Not worried about any tornadoes forming from this, but there are some gusty winds. What do we have going on here? Let me go to the right. And is that dust? What does it look like? Looks kind of hazy. Kind of hazy there. So we're going to watch, yeah, there's that little spot. Yeah, we're going to keep watching that. So that's the flower cam, 84 right here heading west of town. That's a storm coming in. We'll keep that camera view up as we track these showers and storms. So to recap here, we're just doing extended weather coverage because we've got these showers and storms coming on through. No severe weather warnings in effect at this point. The one warning that was prompted earlier over Dale County has weakened in a big way. In fact, now it's kind of spreading out to some spotty showers, but some new development here over parts of Henry County. So those may pulse as we go through time. The heaviest rainfall is just north of Enterprise on this radar view. And then we go back to the west over Andalusia, looking at some pretty good rain with that cell also. More or less a broken line of showers and storms. Showers and storms kind of mixed in within the line. So a batch here over Covington County, a little bit of a break here and there into Coffee County, then a really significant batch of rainfall there north of Enterprise, and then more or less spotty activity as we go on through Henry County. But that batch there north of Enterprise is pretty significant. There's been some weakening with this, and really the best way to gauge if a storm is weakening or strengthening is the amount of lightning that it's producing, because a storm that's developing will produce a lot more lightning. As the storm weakens, even though the rain may be heavy, the lightning strikes will go away or subside a little bit. And it looks like there's been some weakening with this cell around Victoria, but a little bit of a pulse here just north of Enterprise and northeast, so not too far away from Daleville and Fort Rucker. Ozark looking at some heavy rainfall coming on through downtown as we showed you with that live cam, and a few new showers popping up there. That's what we were looking at from that EEC cam, looking down to the southwest. Those two showers are the ones that are kind of falling and getting blown down to the south. That is really, really cool. All right, let's go back over to Enterprise here. Josh is going to pop it up. So there's a look at Flowers, and then we've got Enterprise, he tells me. Let's see, we'll see. So there it is, yeah. So there's a look at downtown Ozark from the Rawls. So looking northward, you're looking at this cell right here, and there's a little pocket of some significant lightning there over the western part of Dale County. Again, not a severe thunderstorm, but nonetheless a decent summertime, meteorological summertime thunderstorm popping up there in Coffee County, and some pretty good activity coming out through Andalusia at this hour. Ahead of that activity with that outflow boundary, so we showed you that camera, the EEC cam, the outflow boundary right in through there, and those are the showers popping up right on that outflow boundary. Very cool to see. Let me go back over to the camera computer here. I'm going to switch back over to the EEC cam, because I think that rain shaft, yeah, look at that. That is so cool. So that rain shaft, the two rain shafts along that outflow boundary have now become just one big batch of rain right in through here. And that's the same batch that we were showing you on radar popping up. So that is a pretty significant line of a rainfall developing there as we look at Enterprise. That's looking off to the southwest of the city. We'll swing this northward. There's the other batch of heavy rainfall to the north of downtown Enterprise, in between kind of a break there. But that batch of rain looks pretty good. And you know, when you see that dark cloud move in, or even just a dark cumulus cloud in the summertime, usually that means it's ready to just unfurl a bunch of rain on you. So this one looks primed to produce some more rain. It looks like we have the beginning of another rain shaft right in through here, and that may become a little more significant too as that moves down to the south. So watching that cell very closely. Again, no severe weather, but some heavy downpours mixed in. Let's go back over to the other cams that we have. Go over to the Southeast Health Cam. This is showing the same thing. You all see that? It's like it's dust, or it looks like it's dust being kicked up. So all this light colored thing right in through here. Let me go over to the Flowers cam, because we were seeing it there too. You see it right there? Not quite sure exactly what that is. It looks like dust, but it's been so wet in so many spots. But that is, it looks like dust. I mean, looks like red dirt. So that might be the outflow boundary. Go back over to, yeah, it is. Go back over to Max 2, Josh. So the outflow boundary now, I'm going to go to the really sensitive mode here. This is kind of cool. Watch this. Sweeping radar. I'm going to bring that out. So there, now you see it very, very clearly. That green line dropping south is the outflow boundary. Now we'll go back over to, or picture in picture if you can, the Flowers cam. So that is dust. I mean, that is definitely some Alabama red dirt being kicked up into the atmosphere. And that's probably being caused by that outflow boundary coming on through. It's not that nefarious, honestly, but it shows you exactly where that boundary has moved on through and is kicking up that dust. You know, and that kind of goes to show you that some areas have been relatively wet, and then some areas have been relatively dry. And that's why we have this dust being kicked up by these fields. You know, a lot of the cotton and peanut fields are still relatively bare, and you can kind of see that dust there. That's pretty cool, because we're looking from the Southeast Health Cam here, downtown Dothan in this general vicinity. and that's looking to the northwest of town. And you kind of see the same thing there, the Flowers Cam and the Southeast Health Cam. So, yeah, was that a Luke Bryan song, Kick the Dust Up? That kind of looks like what's happening right now. So, okay, back over to Max 2 as we watch that outflow boundary moving on through the western part of Houston County, about to move into the city of Dothan, downtown. Again, you'll get this burst of wind. Not that bad, 20, 30 miles per hour, maybe 35 miles per hour, but certainly a gust of wind. This is also, because we're in really sensitive mode here on the radar now, an outflow boundary moving on through Houston County. So where that outflow boundary and this one come together, there could be some new pop-up shower activity, more or less, over the eastern parts of Houston County. Would not surprise me at all. We'll keep watching that line. There's the outflow that came on through Enterprise, the new showers popping up, and that was the new one that we were watching there in the distance from the EEC cam, that shower popping up in the northern part of Geneva County. So a broken line of showers and storms. You'll get in and out of the rainfall. Some of you will see some heavy downpours for maybe half an hour. Other spots will not see as much rainfall because there are some breaks. So, for example, you look at this area, right here where my finger is, it kind of just missed that rainfall. It's going to miss that rainfall. So there are going to be certain spots that don't get much rain at all. But then there are going to be spots like this. Look at that, heavy rainfall for quite a period. Same thing here, some heavy rainfall for about an hour over parts of Coffee County. Andalusia, again, seeing a lot of rainfall in that part of Covington County, but more spotty activity as we go south of there. But generally speaking, showers and storms will continue working on through here over the next couple hours. Big view, looking at that broken line of showers and storms. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that cell down to the southeast over Seminole County. We'll zoom into that storm and watch what's happening down here. So there's a look at Tallahassee and Mariana. And this cell popping up here recently went from just a few showers into a decent thunderstorm with a lot of rainfall and maybe some hail with this. I don't know if the winds are that bad. We'll switch over to the, let's see, base velocity view right here. So yeah, the winds don't look that bad, but if we go to the hail track, maybe there's a little pocket of hail. Nope, nothing showing up there. So yeah, it's a thunderstorm. It prompted a warning. I'm not seeing anything that would justify a severe thunderstorm warning with this at this point, but it's certainly worth watching. Base velocity here, we'll just go back a little bit. There's not much. There's just not much there. But sometimes these warnings come out because the storm looks impressive on reflectivity. But hey, that's just a good old-fashioned summertime thunderstorm. At this point, heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning with this cell. This is in far southwest Georgia, over the northern part of the Panhandle into southwest Georgia here. And this is a cell that may produce some small hail, certainly some heavy rainfall. It is so warm outside and that freezing level is so high in the sky, it's kind of hard to get hail this time of year. This looks to be just a big rainmaker more than anything else. I'm not seeing anything here that would indicate severe winds. Nothing over 40 miles per hour as I analyze this cell. But hey, some heavy rainfall showing up there in Seminole County, far southwest Georgia, and just a ton of lightning strikes with this cell. And what we've seen with some of the cells, not just today, but over recent days too, these lightning strikes that are occurring away from the actual heavy rainfall, out in advance of the rainfall or just behind the rainfall. And those are the ones that you really want to be wary of. So if you have any kids or anyone playing outside, you want to get them indoors as this line of showers and storms comes on through. No severe thunderstorm warnings in effect farther northward, but there's some heavy rainfall coming on through now. Areas between Andalusia and Opp. A lot of lightning strikes here in Covington County. That's probably the strongest cell at this point, but that one batch of rainfall north of Enterprise still holding together. It's interesting though, in the city of Enterprise, we have not seen that rainfall come on through yet. It's very heavy north of town. It's heavy south of town, but in between, still relatively dry. But some of this back to the west and northwest should work in. Around New Brockton, some light rainfall, but it's not real heavy. Daleville getting some of that rainfall, the north side of town, and then towards Fort Rucker seeing some decent rainfall. Oh, go ahead, Josh. Go back to that. Yeah, that's a cam from Dothan Flowers Hospital, as that outflow boundary comes on through the city of Dothan, looking off to the west-northwest. So in this general area, that outflow boundary racing pretty far ahead of the rainfall. So it's not lining up perfectly. Sometimes you get the outflow and the storms occur at the exact same time. In this situation, the outflow comes on through, temperatures drop, and then you get some of the rainfall behind that outflow. And we're seeing that now around Ozark, Echo, southward towards Newton, some showers here and there, a few popping up now in Headland, some popping up in Haleburg, moving over into Georgia too. Early County seeing some rainfall popping up just to the north of Blakely, a pretty good pocket of some heavy rainfall. Again, the outflow boundary came on through Blakely recently here, approaching Damascus. North of that outflow boundary, we've got the showers and storms popping up. Not much lightning at this point, but some showers here and there around Bluffton right now, off to the north there of Blakely. As we go farther to the west, a few new showers there in parts of Coffee County here, south of 84. The southwestern corner of Coffee County, some lingering showers in Geneva County, and then watching that one severe thunderstorm warning down there over Seminole County. That will move out of our area pretty quickly. Heads up areas off to the west and southwest of Bainbridge, a lot of lightning with that cell, but I'm not seeing any significant wind with that storm. So it looks to be just a good old-fashioned summertime thunderstorm popping up there in southwest Georgia. That's pretty much what we're seeing now across the rest of the area. There are no severe weather warnings in effect with any of these cells farther northward in southeast Alabama, but just a broken line of showers and storminess dropping southward as we go through the afternoon hours. So we've been doing some extended coverage as these storms were pulsing earlier. They have come down in intensity a little bit, but we will keep watching these as we go through the rest of the afternoon hours, because one or two of these may briefly pulse up and produce winds in excess of 30 or 40 miles per hour. Not a big threat right now. That cell that was in Coffee County moving into Dale County is weakening a little bit and kind of popping up down to the south. So no significant concerns, I should say, with that particular cell. Big view here on the base velocity across southeast Alabama. Yeah, nothing that really stands out. Some decent winds here around Andalusia, 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. There's the outflow boundary, that push of wind moving southward through Houston County now, came on through the Dothan area. Not much rain with the actual outflow boundary. It's all occurring to the north, and it is coming down in intensity. Not as widespread now over the central part of Henry County. Still some decent rain. Dale County into Coffee County, back into Covington County. Most of the lightning strikes that we're seeing at this hour are in Covington County. That camera view is from Flowers Hospital on the west side of Dothan, looking off to the west-northwest, kind of watching that rain in the distance. That might hold together and come into the city of Dothan as we go through the next half hour or 45 minutes. A line of showers and storms, but again, a broken line of showers and storms. And it is changing. It's not like you can take one cell and extrapolate the position out 45 minutes, because that one cell will likely change, may weaken, a new shower pops up somewhere else. So really kind of tough to pinpoint any individual cell, but the general idea is this broken line of showers and storms will be dropping down to the southeast as we go through the afternoon hours and bring us some decent downpours, at least in pockets. We'll keep monitoring the storms across the area. If anything becomes severe again or looks alarming, we'll jump back on and let you know. Otherwise, we have a cut-in coming up at 4 o'clock during the news, and we'll have more live coverage coming up at 6 p.m. as we track this rainfall moving on through. It is summertime, it is hot, it is humid, and a little rainy in spots. We'll have more coming up as needed right here on News 4.
You've been watching a News 4 First Alert Severe Weather Update. For more weather updates, download the free News 4 First Alert app.